I want to stay in Southern California for a moment, but I want to go back to San Diego, where we're covering this breaking news at the Islamic Center in San Diego. You can see a heavy police presence there following reports of an active shooter. I want to get right back to CBS News correspondent Shanelle Kaul for an update. Shanelle, what do you know?
So just a few minutes ago when we last spoke, the police had said that it is still an active scene but contained. And then after I spoke to you, San Diego police sent out another update on X, and they're now saying the threat at the Islamic Center has been neutralized. They're also adding here that a media staging center has been established as the northwest corner of Lindbergh Park. So keep in mind, this all unfolding in just the last hour. It started as a reported call about an active shooter. And you remember we heard from that neighbor who said that they heard up to 30 shots fired near the Islamic Center of San Diego. They actually phoned police. And keep in mind also, this is an active center. It is a pretty huge complex with multiple facilities, including a large prayer hall. They also have an Islamic school where kids go to school. So obviously some concern about children here. That neighbor also said that he saw children calmly being escorted out of the building. Again, at this point, police have not said if shots were fired, how many shots were fired, and if anyone was injured. So we're still waiting to find out more. But the good news here at this point is that police are saying the threat has been neutralized.
Shanelle, thank you so much. I actually want to go back to KFMB, our colleagues down in San Diego, CBS News colleagues who are covering this breaking news story. Let's check in with their coverage.
Yeah, this is also drawing the attention of even organizations. I was just speaking with a woman here from Borderlands for Equity. And Majan, you said you spoke with some people who were inside the mosque. What did they tell you? What did they hear?
It was about 40 minutes ago. I was just doing some grocery shopping and got a call from the community and immediately reached out to Sheikh Taha Hussein, who is the Islamic director inside and been the leader of our community for many, many years. He said there was a shooter, that they could hear the shots being fired and they were being evacuated. And I can only imagine how frightened and terrified all of the people, whether it be administrative staff, people who are praying in the community that just happened to stop by, and most importantly, the school. There's a school that's operating inside with children and community members that are so young. I can't even imagine what they're going through right now, and not exactly sure how many people have been hit or how many people have been killed.
Did you get any word as to where the shooter was?
I just heard that they said that they had infiltrated the inside of the building. I wasn't sure exactly. I could hear the officers shouting to evacuate in the background, and it was paralyzing and so frightening. And at the same time, I had to drop everything and come directly to make sure our community is safe and they're okay, and they know that they're not alone in this really insane time.
And you showing up here to try and connect with some of those families as these kids are just going to start processing what they just experienced, and the staff too.
Absolutely. Borderlands for Equity is a pro bono civil rights nonprofit and a community advocacy group, and we've been doing this work for over 6 years and continue to show up, whether it's an ICE raid, whether it's a community that's been targeted by discrimination, but in the most horrific of situations, this kind of shooting is unacceptable anywhere, let alone a place of peace and faith and hope like an Islamic Center here in San Diego.
Thank you so much for speaking with us and giving us some more insight into what the Islamic director here at the mosque had to tell you, as you could hear everything developing on the other side of the phone call.
Thank you so much, and we're asking for people's prayers and their support during this difficult time, because the Muslim community, like many marginalized groups, are continuing to be targeted in this really frightening moment across our country, and we need to hold fast to the commitment of being community and standing together in solidarity as allies and neighbors who care and love one another through even the difficult times.
Thank you so much for talking with us, and thank you. And we'll definitely keep staying on top of this and asking those hard questions, as we do know that law enforcement confirming with us that the threat has been mitigated at this point, as they're calling this now a contained situation, although it is still a very heavy first responder presence out here since this all started just before noon. My photographer Miguel and I, we were driving on the freeway, and we just heard siren after siren as vehicles were just swerving around us, all to get to this mosque where we know know now that there was an active shooter. That is where the investigation is unfolding. If you do have family, loved ones that were inside that mosque, who are inside there, you can go to 4125 Hathaway Street. That is where the reunification center is if you have any loved ones who may have been inside the mosque at the time of that shooting. We'll go ahead and send it back to you guys for now.
Okay, yeah, San Diego police saying the threat at the Islamic Center has been neutralized. They have set up a media staging area where we are hoping to learn the latest information. We have been told that persons have been shot by one San Diego police officer confirming that, unknown how many. We know shots were fired. We had a witness tell us that at least 24 shots were heard not far from that school, this witness who lived nearby.
And obviously something like this, with all the schools and the homes nearby, people were being told to stay inside. So we do want to update you that now on that with the school situation. There are several schools in the area, and San Diego Unified School District did let us know that they had schools on lockdown because of the situation with the mosque, but those are gradually being lifted. The schools closest to the mosque, they will be the last to have their lockdowns lifted. So that's important to know for parents who are wondering, how their students, how their kids are doing there at those nearby schools. I mean, this is a residential area, but also a lot of shopping centers and schools nearby and religious institutions, as we've been reporting. So many people wondering if they can access their loved ones and reach their homes or their family members. So slowly some of those schools the lockdowns are being lifted. Earlier, we also got messages from many of the Jewish institutions in San Diego right around noon, just after that, moments after this incident. They put their facilities on lockdown as well. Then moments later, we got a message from them saying they lifted their lockdowns too. But all of this done as an abundance of caution when you hear of, a religious institution, something like this happening. Certainly other churches, synagogues, mosques are on alert. Any of these locations where communities gather, this is obviously the worst thing that they could hear happening. So these are supposed to be places of safety, prayer, worship, where people come together in community. And that's what this mosque has provided now for about 4 decades. It's been open with thousands of members there. Part of this congregation, they gather daily with daily prayer services, the schools. And then Fridays, as we heard, they have large religious gatherings there every Friday. If people have been by there, you see the traffic that comes with the people getting together at that very location. So
we can confirm now that based on images that we were able to see from our chopper, that our newsroom is confirming that there is at least one body that is near the mosque here. So we know that this has turned into a fatal incident. One person at least killed in this shooting at this mosque. We were told people by one officer, but we can confirm at least one body has been in front of the school. And we were told earlier from police that the threat has been neutralized. So this is at the Islamic Center of San Diego. This happened about an hour and a half ago, right around noon. Reports of an active shooter. Police swarmed the area, multiple agencies, and we saw young kids hand in hand. And look, everyone knows how emotional that is as a parent to get to find this out. And we saw parents running and their voices trembling, and they were on the phone trying to figure out what was going to happen. Quickly, we learned that 4125 Hathaway Street was the reunification location. And our hearts go out to the parents out there that have so many questions, and we're trying to give you those answers. And again, the media briefing should be happening any moment. They do have a staging location set up. So as soon as we learn details from those ground crews on what led up to all this, how many people were involved, how many people were injured or killed in this, we'll bring that to you.
And that's an important thing to mention here in our role as journalists. We do want to make sure we get these important pieces confirmed by law enforcement.
Our colleagues down at KFMB in San Diego covering this breaking news where there was an active shooter at the Islamic Center of San Diego. A couple of key points here. The police department down in San Diego saying that the threat is now neutralized and that the situation is so far contained. You saw a large police presence there on the ground. This is in a residential neighborhood where there are homes, other schools, and smaller businesses. So right now we're seeing some of the lockdowns be lifted. Some of the students at some of the further away schools are being allowed back into those classrooms. We're going to keep monitoring the developing news out of San Diego. Another key point was that they were saying that there was a body that was discovered outside the school at the Islamic Center of San Diego.